Sometimes I hated waking up in the morning to go to school. I hated school. My name is Tia. I'm from Lebanon. I studied in Abu Dhabi for 17 years, and this is my story, my long journey against bullying. At 6 years old, I started at a primary school. I was severely bullied because of my appearance, because of my height, and because my mom worked in the school I went to. I spent most breaks and lunches with my mom in her office, and kids at my school found that an opportunity to make fun of me. I wasn't a very talkative or social person, so I was an easy target.
Children that are either too tall or too short, children that are overly intelligent or overly good at school, children that are too thin or sometimes a little bit overweight. Any kind of a physical feature that makes them different can become something that a bully will pick on. Also, children with low self-esteem tend to be bullied. Children who are a little bit more shy or withdrawn tend to be bullied. So these are the people that I feel adults need to take a little bit extra care of.
I never really told my mom about any of the bullying that went on, only because the saying, snitches get stitches, followed me throughout my entire school life.
I want students to know that you're not being a snitch if you're going to report. I think it is imperative that you report rather than be a passive observer. You know, it's important for the child to feel that somebody cares.
When somebody comes with bullying issues, I usually appeal to them to talk to their parents, to talk to their teachers. Oftentimes it's the parents that bring in the children because they realize that something has changed in their child's behavior, and they're worried about their child. Children withdraw, or they start to not want to spend time with anyone anymore. Some kids gain weight or lose weight. Some kids develop allergies, headaches, don't want to go to school. Sometimes they feel nauseous. So the parents recognize this behavior, and when they talk to the child, oftentimes the child doesn't want to talk about it, so the parents are at a loss. So they come to me, and usually when I speak to the child one-on-one, then they open up to me because my conversations are confidential, and then I ask the child to go and speak to the parents, promising them that things will get better.
I had a problem, I just chose to ignore it. See myself leading on a fake persona of a strong person that didn't care what people thought of her, didn't care what people had to say about her. And most of my friends, my sister, my mother usually saw that. However, I wasn't like that at home. I was a completely different person at home. I was always happy, I was always laughing, smiling, making jokes. Bullies are really afraid to get teachers involved because they know something will happen, there will be consequences, and that's why they blackmail the victim into saying that snitches get stitches and you can't tell the teacher, you can't get them involved. So then the victim has to fight by themselves.
I think that there needs to be an awareness program set in place in schools to help children and people. Bullying is also prevalent in the workforce, so generally everyone recognize bullying.
Okay, March 8th, the friends that I thought were on my side in this entire bullying situation turned their backs on me. I started shaking, just minor shaking, and I had a fever. I didn't really tell anyone that I was sick. I just thought I had a flu. So I went home and I took a nap, and then I took my brother to football. And by the time I was back home from football, I was completely numb and I couldn't move or speak, and I fainted in my mom's arms, so she rushed me to the hospital. An hour or two and I started seizing. I was having seizures, and the hospital thought I had meningitis, which then led them to induce me in a coma. And I was in the ICU for 3 days, and no one knew what was wrong with me. The second they woke me up from the coma, I started seizing again, and they realized that anything emotionally triggering caused me to have a seizure. All the memories would start piling in, and I would start getting anxious, and then the doctors realized I had anxiety and depression, and I was my final diagnosis was psychological seizures and clinical depression with anxiety. Lots of therapists, lots of doctors came and spoke to me and said this wouldn't have happened if I addressed the situation earlier. Because of the build-up, my seizures were my body's way of releasing that anger and that sadness.
So the most severe effects of, let's say, physical bullying would be that someone actually dies due to the consequences of the violence inflicted upon them. Emotional bullying, the most severe outcome of that could be that someone might take their own life.
An investigation was held at school where everyone in my year had to write a report over what they know about the entire story. And slowly the bullies were seen as the people they are.
I think that there's still a large problem with recognizing bullying because sometimes there's no awareness. And so I think the first step for bullying to be reduced is to increase awareness of bullying and making facilities available to people that are being bullied so that they can seek help.
Eventually I started seeing a therapist, and she made me talk about everything that's happened, everything that I went through, and I started getting better. I don't have any more seizures. I'm learning how to communicate and control my anger and my sadness. I'm lucky enough to still be alive to this day. Some people commit suicide because of bullying. Some people get sick and die because of bullying. I encourage you guys to reach out to a parent or to a teacher or to a sibling and try and find help. And always stick up for yourself. That's what I learned throughout.